Sup guys, it's Ariana. Thanks for clicking on this vid. I'll be posting a gaming vid here pretty soon. But first, I just want to thank all of you for your undying support for me so far. We're up to 15 or 16 subs in the past couple days, so that's really, really cool. I appreciate it. Keep it up. Spreading the word about my channel. Um, um, I promise this won't be a normal thing. I promise it'll be more fun videos for everybody. But I just want to talk to you guys more about what I've been thinking about the past couple days since my first vid. And if you haven't seen that, go check it out on my channel. But I think what I'm thinking about doing is some Roblox videos, some um, a little bit of vlogging when I go to college. So college life. So if y'all are in high school, you better be watching because this will prepare you. I'm guessing it will. Um, it's gonna be tons of fun. You'll get to meet my roommates, stuff like that. Hopefully, we'll do some challenges, some sketches, some pranks. Even yes, it doesn't look like it, but I can be a pretty good prankster. I have a couple good roasts up my sleeve. Um, when when the chips are down. So um, I don't know. I just appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys, and hopefully, just don't exit out this video yet because I know I sound kind of, I guess, boringish, but I'm yeah, this is like a new thing for me. This is helping me grow, and I promise that when I'm with other people, especially hopefully when I do collabs with other friends, I'll be way more outgoing because when I'm with other people, I don't know about you guys. Comment down below if you guys are an introvert or an extrovert. Me, I'm a total extrovert. Um, I feel like actually, to be honest, if I'm kind of in the middle. Um, I'm like an introvert when I'm like introduced to new people or new experiences, but once I get the hang of it, I do not be quiet. um, I constantly ask people if I'm annoying them. Um, but yeah, I'd say I'm excited for this experience. I love gaming, I will say that, but I want this channel to be a channel for that you guys can come to like on a hard day or just on a day you want to chillax, do kind of nothing, you know what I mean? Just kind of a day to just hang out with some peeps and just kind of watch somebody grow in their gaming life. Because I feel like a lot of people, um, and I mean, not putting this down at all, I promise you. But like, I feel like some people when they start YouTube, they've already had like 5 years of gaming under their belt. Me, I barely have one. It's something that happened, and I feel like it'd be kind of cool for you guys to see. I guess bit of a different perspective, for lack of a better term. Somebody who's um, kind of come from different circumstances who has to use a mobile hotspot on my phone to even film this, even upload on YouTube. Because I can tell you, I've spent many a night um, at Walmart at midnight turning in papers. Um, I mean, that's just the lengths I've had to go to make this possible. Um, but really, what I want to achieve in this channel is just um, I want to give you guys again a new perspective. I feel like it's just this world is kind of this. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe somebody can explain it better than I can, but I don't know. It just feels like the world just kind of focused on certain things, and I kind of want to shake it up. I want to be able to just get out there and make a difference and say to people, hey, that this doesn't have to be that, because um I know there's some kids who um maybe they don't have the lives that some other kids have had, and I feel like that's my situation, and I want you all to know that there is hope out there. Honestly, like, just talking to you guys, I just want you guys to hear about a little bit about my faith. You'll hear me mention it, but I want to kind of share my testimony a little bit. So, um, I've always been, I've always grown up in a church, Christian family. I've always gone to Grace Baptist Church in GI. We have a very small church, but it's been kind of a blessing because we've been able to grow more tight knit. Um, than would have ever expected. They're such a giving family. They helped me with my graduation party. They helped me with just work and support and even monetary donations every once in a while. Which I'm super blessed to be a part of this church. Um, so I was in an after school program, and I was always hearing about how um, there was a God um, who wasn't like anybody else, who could um, help you just get through certain things. And I mean, who sent his son to pay the price for us on the cross. And just how this world is full of sin, and um, there's just a lot of bad stuff going on, and the reason for that, and that's there's a God who just loved us so much that he sent his son to die. And I heard the Bible stories about Adam and Eve and David and Goliath and stuff like that. And then one day it kind of hit me, when I was in middle schoolish, that I was a sinner and I needed to be saved. So I accepted Christ, I believe in about sixth or seventh grade. I wish I would pay attention to the day way more closely. Um, but I think that my faith helped me through a lot of things. I was um, kind of lost in middle school, didn't know who I was. Um, Honestly, I mean, we all were. Middle school, comment down below if you had a good time in middle school or not. To be honest, it was just kind of like a meh time in my life. It wasn't one of my finest hours, I'll tell you that. I was just going through a lot. I was bullied a lot. Um, Really, my escape was um God, and was God and friends and stuff like that. And so I trusted him as my savior. And it didn't really hit home to me until just how much I relied on Christ until my great grandfather slash my dad had a bunch of mini strokes. And this was in between my seventh and eighth grade year, um, after I had gone through so much in my life. Um, and he had mini strokes. He had to have carotid artery surgery, which is clearing out like some stuff, some gunk in here. And it was my first thought of, wow, he's not going to be around forever. And I just sat there and thought, wait, he's not, because we all think our parents are immortal, and sometimes that's a gift and sometimes that's a curse. But I love them to death. I would tell you that. So he had that, was recovering, and then the biggest year was in between eighth grade and high school. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, oh great, just the transition from middle school to high school in itself is a very difficult thing. But the fact that I had these circumstances in between that was hard for me. So had to do with the mini strokes. He fell a couple times when he had them, and he started having these health complications. We couldn't figure out what was going on. And then I believe July 2nd, they took him into they took some tests on him. We went home, got a phone call immediately. I was outside doing something, sorry. And then my great grandma comes on. She goes, "You need to get in the car now." And I figured out that he had an aortic aneurysm, which they knew before, but a couple months before it was fine. They were going to take him to Lincoln. He was going to miss my eighth grade graduation, which he really wanted to make it to, but they didn't. They opted not to take him because it wasn't bad enough. So apparently it had doubled, and it was to the point where it was critical. So they had 4 EMTs waiting for him. They took him down. He was stable by the time we got down to Lincoln that night. It was at night. We didn't get back until about 2 a.m. in the morning. And then got a call the next morning saying he was critical. We went down there, and we all sat in the room with dad, and I call him my dad. And they said that they needed to do surgery, but there was a 20 to 25% chance of survival. And at that moment, I I just absolutely lost it, because it was the fact that I'm just like, oh my word, I'm gonna lose my dad, because he's been one of my biggest supporters through everything. He came to every one of my volleyball games, concerts, everything like that. But it was just the thought of losing him, and loss is a big thing. And I mean, there's been a lot of people who have gone through it, and um, you'll understand why this is in a second. Just hang in there, guys. Um, so he also would have had complications. He could have had a heart attack, he could have had a stroke, he could have been paralyzed. And he said he wanted to get through. He wanted to go through with it because he wanted to be here for me and my great grandma slash my mom. So he went for it, and then there was a whole bunch of my church family came. My pastor came. Some other people came, and then I kind of stopped and realized that, it's just like I had no control. It was the first time in my life where I felt like I had no control over anything. And it was like for me, I'm just like, all right, God. I prayed to him. I said, God, whatever happens, I'm ready. And it just kind of came out of the blue. And I thought, it's just like I knew there was a God, that was watching over. And the surgery was supposed to take 8 hours if he were to make it. He made it out in 4. He was sedated for I think a weekish. He spent about 2 months in rehabilitation in Lincoln, Nebraska, which was hard. So he came home during the start of my high school career, and he was just never the same, And change, I don't know about y'all, but change is no bueno for me. It's a, you know, it's a shock. And so, but then I just learned to rely on him more, rely on God, and stuff like that. And then um he had some like heart valve put and stuff like that. He had had hundreds of skin cancer surgeries. And then so my faith was really strong. I was strengthened through all these trials I've had, not having money and health problems and basically spending half of my life in the hospitals, with my dad. Um, and then came senior year, and senior year is the biggest year, I'll tell you that. Make the most of your senior year. But senior year came, and obviously it was time to, you know, really grow because they say senior year is the best years of your life. And for me, it kind of was, but it's different for me. Um, so I was at the state fair um, with some of my band friends, and then because we found out that dad, I think we found out in June. This is in August, the band thing, but in June we found out that he had stage 4 melanoma, and it struck a chord because melanoma cancer is the deadliest skin cancer. And I just thought he had dementia because he was forgetting stuff and he was kind of more volatile. They took scans and they found out that he had stage 4. I just stopped. I could not process anything because I'm just like, this is something I feared. So we get to State Fair. I get a phone call from mom, and she says, "Get home now." And my car is still at the school, and I had one of my friends take me. And I heard, and mom told me that dad was not going to make it through the night. And I had just visited him like a day or so before. Um, so so I was just praying all the way, I was praying all the way through. And then I get home and mom's just like, he only has like a few minutes left. We get there. I, I'm running through the halls of this skilled care place. And they did an amazing job with him. Um, and then I turned the corner to the room he was in. At that moment, I just stopped. I looked at him, saw him in that bed just laying there. And the doctor told me that we were 15 minutes too late. And I know what you're thinking, that this is, it's a sad thing to happen. I know. It's something that I don't wish on anybody. But there's there's a silver lining to this, I promise. Um, but it's just I was always this fun, energetic person, and then it just felt like for the first time in my life when I saw him in that bed, I was just had the wind knocked out of me. And, I felt like I'd lost everything. And so my faith really began to unfold when he died. And then we had a couple other funerals in our church family after that. And then my uncle, which is my dad's younger brother, passed away unexpectedly this past February. And for me, it's just, um, I guess my whole point is, um, life is hard. It's nobody said it was going to be easy. It's just taking one day at a time, and I know it sounds cliche, but it's just sometimes the worst circumstances bring out the best outcomes. And for me, it was. I remember going to school the next day, and I was just getting hugs from everybody, and everybody was supporting. I went to school, like, basically 2 days after he passed, and because I knew he wanted me to be there. And, it was, amazing just to see the support from everybody, who's even people who've barely even talked to me. Um, and I have some friends now who I didn't meet it I wouldn't have really talked to if it wasn't for what happened with dad. And it's just me. Sometimes we forget to look for the good stuff. We see bad stuff and it's like, why is this happening to me? Why is this? Why is that? And instead of that, for me, it's instead of thinking why, it should be thinking, how can I use this to drive myself? What's coming out of this? Because I mean, you see it when a tragedy happens. There's just outpouring support, and it's just all because of this unconditional love. And more importantly for me, it's how is God using this circumstance in my life? And for me, I feel like YouTube, this is my way of really being able to reach people that haven't really been talked to, I guess, for lack of a better term. I mean, not like wanting to like assume anything at all, but it's just I feel like there's some kids that just kind of feel like the world is just out to get them, and it's not. But it's just I have found that there is hope in Christ. That there's a verse in Philippians that says, "I can do all things for Christ who strengthens me," and that verse has kind of been one of my mottos. And then there's another one that's Isaiah 40:31, which is, "But they who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They will mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." That came from a good friend of Dad's, a good friend of mine who was actually a Navajo code talker in World War II. Very wise man, taught me so much about history, made me love history. But yeah, it's just I want you guys to see that I want this channel to be more than gaming, more than vlogging. I want this to be a place where you guys can be encouraged and just have fun and um, enjoy life. And I'll be back in a second.